Good morning, students. Today we are going to read an important question in the topic of Hazrat Ali Raziyallah Anha in the subject of Islamiyat O levels. So concentrate yourself. We are going to start now. And the question is, describe the main events of Ali's rule as caliph. So if this question come in the paper, to get A grade, you have to outline the main events. For example, the early challenges, the two civil wars, and the issue of the Kharijites. So these things will be required to write in the question to get A grade. So concentrate yourself. We are going to start now. Ali assumed government at perhaps the most difficult time in the history of the Islam. The capital Medina as well as the provinces were in the grip of the terror, chaos and anarchy carefully cultivated by the insurgents, with several thousands of their alien agents in the capital that had just witnessed the brutal murder of its caliph. So these were the circumstances in which Ali took the responsibility of becoming as a caliph. Strong cries were being raised from all quarters to punish the terrorists that had killed Usman. Ali, on the other hand, had different priorities and gave precedence to the consolidation and reorganization of the Islamic Empire before taking action against any individual. Perhaps he wanted to strike at the root of the conspiracy. In this regard, he issued orders for the dismissal of all provincial governors. This step proved to be counterproductive as all his nominees failed to win popular support, especially in Kufa and Syria. In these two, the appointees were unable to even enter their respective provinces. The blend of the above unfavorable circumstances further aggravated the situation and eventually led to the first civil war in Islam. The Battle of Camel, that is also called Battle of Jamal. So if this question only come in the paper, this is actually the extension of the activities of Ali during his caliphate. But these questions separately come in the paper also in the form of write a note on the Battle of Jamal or Battle of Camel. So this question can separately come in the paper as well as this is the part of the Ali's activities during his caliphate. So if this question comes separately to get A grade, this part needs descriptive or narrative writing. The answer should include such important details as the year of the fight, number of the troops, venue of fight, and the results. So concentrate yourself. We are going to start. Even after the rebels had left for home and Ali had become caliph, peace had not returned to Medina. Umayyads had become quite powerful in Syria and raised a cry of revenge for the blood of Usman. Usman's bloodied shirt and the fingers of his wife that were stuck to it was shown in the mosque of Damascus. Usman's wife's name was Naila. So when she tried to save her husband during the killing of his husband, her fingers were cut by the dagger. So this is the background of this line. So Usman's blooded shirt and the fingers of his wife that were stuck to it was shown in the mosque of Damascus. People in Mecca and Medina also demanded that the murderers of Usman be punished. Keeping the political situation in view and that the assassination was not the work of just a few people, Ali declined to do anything until peace had been restored in the empire. So Ali was right because this was not the work of a one or some people. That was a very big conspiracy. There was unrest at that time in almost full state. So Ali asked them to bring peace into the empire first, and then we will struck at the root of the conspiracy. Talha and Zubair were discontented with Ali's inaction. They contacted Aisha, who herself was deeply grieved at Usman's murder. A 15,000 men army marched toward Basra in August 656 AD. Talha and Zubair persuaded Aisha to accompany them. The mother of faithful Aisha Raziyallahu anha herself led the army. This army entered into Basra, putting as many as 600 rebels to death and forced its newly appointed governor, Usman bin Hanif, to flee. Ali's son, Hassan, also managed to raise an army of 10,000 from Kufa. Ali Raziyallahu anha was preparing a 20,000 strong army to cope with this situation in Syria, whose governor Muawiyah Raziyallahu anha had refused to take oath of alliance, Bai'at. He diverted his attention towards Basra and met Aisha's forces in October 656 at Basra. So this was the situation when Muslims came in front of each other. Ali assured Aisha that he could not yet execute the murderers because of lack of the evidence, and that he really wanted to punish the guilty. As both parties did not want bloodshed, negotiations were started, ending in mutual agreement by December 656 AD. Mischief makers from both armies were alarmed as peace meant their own doom. They raided both forces on east side and thus started a general battle. Talha and Zubair left the battlefield but were caught and murdered by the treacherous mischief makers. In this battle, Aisha mounted a camel and the battle ensued around it. So this was the reason because of which this war was known as Battle of Camel. The camel was overpowered and its legs were cut, thus giving the name Battle of Camel or Jamal to this event. Aisha was brought down unhurt. The fighting stopped. Ali treated Aisha with respect and honor and sent her back to Medina, escorted by her brother Muhammad bin Abu Bakr. Aisha retired to a quiet life and never took part in politics again. 10,000 combatants lay dead from both sides in this very first civil war in Islam. As a result of this battle, Ali's caliphate came to be acknowledged in every province except for Syria. Clashes between Ali and Muawiyah. Muawiyah bin Abi Sufyan, the governor of Syria, had been appointed by Umar bin Khattab and ruled his province quite successfully and was also quite popular regionally. He refused to take Bai'at to Ali when he was elected caliph on the grounds that the murder of Usman be avenged and qisas be announced. Public display of Usman's blood-stained shirt and the attempted dismissal of Muawiyah by Ali led to the Battle of Siffin. So now we are going to read the Battle of Siffin. If this question comes separately in the paper, to get A grade in Battle of Siffin, you people will be required. This part needs a descriptive or narrative writing. The answer should include such important details as the year of fight, number of troops, venue of fight, and the result. So concentrate yourself, we are going to start. Muawiyah had refused to leave his post as governor of Syria. Under his influence, no one in Syria had taken the oath of allegiance to the new caliph. Muawiyah started a campaign seeking revenge for the blood of the Usman. He declared the election of Ali to be illegal and said that it had been under the influence of the rebels that he had become caliph. He even accused Ali of being an accomplice to the murder of Usman. As a result, Syria, Iran, and Iraq were won over by Muawiyah. Not wanting to shed Muslims' blood, Ali offered peace to Muawiyah and said that since the people who had selected Abu Bakr, Umar, and Usman as caliph had also accepted him, Muawiyah and his followers must accept him as well. In return, Muawiyah demanded that Ali hand over the assassins of Usman first before negotiations. Since war became inevitable, the Caliph Ali raised an army of 80 to 90,000 men. Muawiyah also marched with a large army, slightly smaller than Ali's. The two armies met at Siffin. They stood facing each other for months. Negotiations began and went on for many months as the companions of the Holy Prophet ﷺ were reluctant to fight amongst themselves and sought a peaceful solution. In July, negotiations broke down. General fighting started. The main battle began on 8th Safar 37 AH. Ali's army, being superior in strength, began to gain ground and Muawiyah's began to retreat. On the fourth day, Muawiyah's army was nearing defeat. He ordered his soldiers to tie the Quran on their lances as a sign of ceasefire. Ali was forced to stop fighting. Now a court of arbitration was set up, which was scheduled to meet in February 658. Ali appointed Abu Musa Ashri and Muawiyah nominated Amr bin As as their arbitrators. At this point, several thousand soldiers broke away and formed a rebel army, which became known as Kharijites. Abu Musa Ashri and Amr bin As met at Dummatul Jandal to discuss the case of Ali and Muawiyah. Abu Musa wanted to depose both Ali and Muawiyah and let the people choose their next caliph. Amr wanted to depose Ali alone. Ali did not abide by the judgment as he felt that it was one-sided. The negotiations failed and the causes are shrouded in the mysteries of time. The rivalry between the two continued until the short-lived truce was signed in January 660, but fighting at different fronts renewed soon after. Ali, Amr bin As, and Muawiyah were attacked in an assassination attempt by Kharijites on very same night in the synchronized efforts to wipe out the leadership of that time. Muawiyah escaped. Amr was injured, but Ali was fatally wounded. On 19th Ramazan, 40 AH, January 661, Ali bin Abi Talib, the last of the four rightly guided caliphs, compared to the wounds. So this was the question, students. One of the very important question. So read this question again, learn it and make your notes. Thank you so much.